In the last video of this series, we looked at how flammability works in a unique way on Ents and in different ways in both vanilla ROTWK and AOTR. In this fourth video, we're going to take a closer look at some further discrepancies of fire between vanilla ROTWK and the Age of the Ring mod, looking especially at fire drakes, Corsairs, and Wizards. But I'll also delve a bit into the ways fire can be used to great effect in either game by the little-used Archer Bombard ability. At the end of the video, I'll explore a bit on perhaps the most unique fire mechanic found only with the ever-controversial custom heroes. Due to the, what I consider, unfair stigma custom heroes get, I doubt many players even know about this specific mechanic, or even care, so I'm sure it will prove enlightening to many folks. But let's get started with the underutilized Archer Bombard mechanic as it pertains to terrain fire. This little feature is a great addition to any battle you find yourself overwhelmed in, having the capacity to turn the tide in your favor rather quickly. While mostly useful against bots, if you're good enough, you can certainly pay an unpleasant surprise to players as well. Now ideally, you want to have at least 2 battalions of archers to pull this off right. Just 1 battalion, while it can ignite the ground, just takes too long, and we'll see how much of an impact taking the time to light up terrain can make on some battles. Take this matchup between level 1 Soldiers of Minas Tirith and level 2 Uruk-hai Swordsmen. The Gondor units are soundly defeated in this match, but what if you take the time to micro some archers with the rarely used bombard ability? Now in this matchup, the archers didn't really need to go into bombard mode to win the day for the swordsmen. They could have just fired as normal and had basically the same result. However, what if the swordsmen were outnumbered 2 to 1? Well, then it's a very different story. Normal firing mode does not make enough of an impact on such a force arrayed against you. You need the effects of the splash damage of fire. Especially if the troops were in a shield wall formation and you were using the bombard ability together with it. This is where bombard really shines, against big clumps of units. If you were to use the shield wall ability and archers were in normal firing mode in this specific scenario, they would all have lost. The massive splash damage radius of the fire and rapid damage make all the difference. And if you're creative and thinking on the fly, choke points can prove especially deadly when hordes of enemies are coming your way. Fires are also great methods for map control in the middle of fights. They may not offer too much sometimes, but they can certainly cause your enemy to have to take extra damage or take extra time to avoid the fire. Strategic uses like a good firewall are good starts. However, it should be noted that vanilla ROTWK actually offers a bit better advantage than in AOTR. You can see here that vanilla's firewall, at least on this map, the Fords of Isen, burns longer than the equivalent map in AOTR, the River Isen. This could be from the flammability of the terrain made for the maps in each game, or it could be the inherent code changed from one game to the next. Or it could be how much smaller the bombard radius is in vanilla for the archers, the firing rate of the troops, or something else altogether. All of these can come into play for making fires. I'm honestly not sure what's going on here. All the same, something to keep in mind. A little known aspect of fire is that you can even burn down trees. While this seems merely like a great way of bringing the environment to life, it's an even better way of controlling your enemy's economy if he has lumber mills. It's the perfect way to keep a strong eco-based enemy like Isengard from getting too powerful too fast, and in that case, it'll make him waste one of his most valuable spellbook powers. And of course, it's also a great way of taking away any opportunities he would have for stealthing units and trees. Of course, fire is most keenly felt in both games when it comes to the fire worms. While fire-resistant terrain will prevent an inferno on the terrain itself, naturally, even if your troops are on such terrain, it's not going to save them from instant death. And this applies to both ROTWK and to AOTR. Notice how only the fringes of the grass or flammable terrain at the top was ignited, not anywhere else. Let's see if Drogoth can have a better impact on that non-flammable terrain. Well, sort of. It ignites for a few seconds at least, so the mechanic stays consistent in this way, and it's the same in the Age of the Ring mod. However, AOTR's version takes full advantage of structure fuel, a mechanic Vanilla's sadly does not. You can see here that while the structure takes decent damage, it doesn't actually ignite even with the Inferno cast upon highly flammable terrain. But there is a glaring oddity between the ring hero Smaug and the fire drakes. For all his might, Smaug cannot one-shot a structure with his Inferno. Perhaps a bit of a balancing that needs adjusted? Surely he should be able to ignite the structure at least. The Corsair firebombs have some strange discrepancies too. In the vanilla game, you can see that even on highly flammable terrain, their bombs just don't do what you would expect them to. In AOTR, though, if they throw their firebombs on structures on grass terrain, nothing happens either, even if you try igniting the terrain around the structures. But with highly flammable terrain, you can potentially one-shot a structure, so long as you hit the right areas.
They are attacking. Line 'em up. Give 'em some fire. We must protect our lady's domain.
Saruman's magic in relation to flammability works the same in both the vanilla game and AOTR, having the same odd inconsistencies. The fireball, when striking a structure on grass terrain, does not ignite the terrain or the structure, but if it's on highly flammable terrain, it can one-shot it. Whereas if you use lightning on a structure placed on either terrain, it doesn't ignite anything at all. While the cultists of Ziggur are not quite wizards proper, there are enough of them to be included here. They have a fire upgrade that they can give to troops of the ROTWK faction alone. This fire upgrade works wonders on Ents. Ordinarily, it would take quite a while for these swordsmen to take out the Ents, but not with fire.
We are ready for battle. Our ancestors watch over us. Come, warriors. We will find our way.
However, you can see that the upgrade does not ignite the terrain or structures, even on highly flammable terrain. One of the cool features of AOTR's overhaul to the system is that the wizards, Gandalf and Saruman, offer strong magic and elemental protection to units, which includes fire damage. You can see the glitter effect over the troops signifying the protection, but it does not work on structures or monsters, including Ents.
All the world shall belong to me. question the power of Sigurd. His spirit is everywhere.
Ordinarily, the cultists' fire would have incinerated these troops, but not with Gandalf nearby. But Saruman's fireball can still one-shot this level 3 structure on highly flammable terrain, even with Gandalf nearby. And the last bit on Wizards, Isengard's explosive mine. Known as the Fires of Orthanc in the books, this mine goes almost completely overlooked in the games, in part because it takes so long to ignite. It doesn't even ignite highly flammable terrain. But it packs a serious punch. So how best to use it? Well, just use your archers in bombard mode with fire arrows. You even get to ignite the terrain as a bonus. One of the most powerful uses of fire, though, is with the ever-controversial custom heroes. I don't think very many players use custom heroes, which to me is a complete shame, so I don't think many folks know of a highly unusual ability. Any of these varieties of the Misty Mountains troll or orc custom heroes have this unique ability found nowhere else in either ROTWK or AOTR, the oil spill. These guys have the ability to lay down an oil spill for a fairly long duration and light it at any time. The oil spill looks like it disappears, but it just turns invisible, so the enemy can be easily lured into a flaming trap. As you saw, the oil has 3 different levels, causing it to have a longer spill duration, burn longer, and burn hotter each level. And the funny thing about this oil is, even if your custom hero dies before lighting the oil, that oil remains and can be ignited by your archers. So if you're planning on playing with these deadly custom heroes, make sure you have those water buckets handy. However, there is something else worth mentioning to counter this to an extent: the Wizards. As shown earlier, Gandalf and Saruman both can provide strong magic and elemental protection, including fire, a feature not found at all in the vanilla games. So if you find yourself up against this deadly fire, you can save yourself a lot of time and aggravation by leading the charge with the Wizards. Major difference, needless to say, and of course it all depends on how big the patch of fire is. It determines how much fire exposure they get. But, as I also said earlier, the oil spill fire burns hotter the higher the level, so even the strong elemental protection only goes so far against a level 3 oil spill. And of course, you have better protection if your troops are armored and in higher levels. But this about covers everything on the fire mechanic found in the BFME games. As you've seen from these 4 episodes, the mechanic is actually a fairly interesting, if underutilized, feature of the games, made to be a bit more interesting though in the Age of the Ring mod with some of its overhauls. I hope these guides have provided you with a bit better of an appreciation for the mechanic and inspire you to use it in more interesting ways in your own strategies. There is one final episode left though, and it's a special bonus episode, so don't miss it.